very first time. He skated on Saturday on his own and then met with head coach Paul Maurice, but today he got acquainted with quarantine. Yesterday, Pierre-Luc Dubois was on the ice today, practicing with his new team for the very first time. He skated on Saturday on his own and then met with head coach Paul Maurice, but today he got acquainted with his new Jets teammates. Sara Orlesky has more.
Balance was a word that Paul Maurice.
Well, after ending quarantine yesterday, Pierre-Luc Dubois was on the ice today, practicing with his new team for the very first time. He skated on Saturday on his own and then met with head coach Paul Maurice, but today he got acquainted with his new Jets teammates. Sara Orlesky has more.
Balance was a word that Paul Maurice kept going back to on Sunday, and it's what he hopes describes all four of his lines now, with the addition of Pierre-Luc Dubois, who's set to center a line with Kyle Connor and Trevor Lewis. This was Dubois' second day on the ice, but first practice with the team since getting out of his 2-week quarantine. And the addition of the 22-year-old now gives the Jets depth at center unlike anything they've had before.
Felt good to finally get out there. You know, it's 2 weeks of just working out in your living room keeps you to a certain extent in shape, but there's nothing like skating out there.
We've got four lines that we should be able to play and spread minutes around, and maybe that concept get that solidified in your bench so that run short shifts, run at a high level to prep us for a March to the third week in April that will be the busiest, the most hockey that any of these guys have ever seen.
There's so much center depth in this lineup with all those guys that even if you play on the wing a few games or a few shifts, or you get caught on the wing and one of the wingers is playing in the middle on that shift, I think it really helps the team out when there's so many centermen in the lineup.
The challenge now for the coach is making sure that with these lines, everyone still gets enough minutes.
The first thing I want to get right with the group is getting them to understand there are other good players on the bench. And that will build the team, right? That we're going to put good players on the ice every time you roll a shift over the bench, so you understand to get on and off the ice, and if it's done right, then you can play at a higher level on every shift.
Maurice made it clear that these lines might actually only last for a few games. He wants to take a look at some of the pairings, and it's something that they might leave and eventually come back to later on in their season. When the Jets play the Flames on Tuesday night, Pierre-Luc Dubois will be on that second power play unit where he'll add some more offensive skill to it, with Adam Lowry and Andrew Kopp now set to rotate in.